With the Texas legislature poised to implement a new map of congressional districts, where does that leave the flood response on the priority list at the special session? More on that now from Scott Braddock, editor at the Quorum Report. Scott, so good to be with you again.
Good to see you.
So Scott, this session was supposed to be mostly about regulating THC after the governor vetoed the THC ban bill that passed in the regular session. Clearly, there's so much more now. Let's talk about redistricting first. Do you see any chance that Democrats will leave the state to prevent a quorum to block this like they did back in 2003?
Well, it's the nuclear option, and of course, if you go back to 2003 and look at the history of that, they were ultimately not successful, and every time Democrats have left the state to try to block something that Republicans were trying to do, that thing always happened anyway, but sometimes it was changed slightly to sort of allay the concerns of the Democrats. That was not the case with the elections law back in 2021. And in 2003, the Republicans did end up redistricting in a way that moved the ball forward for Republicans in a big way. Democrats now are saying that they're not taking that off the table, that is something that they still might do. But if they do it, they're going to need a lot of help from national Democrats, and they might get it because, look, this is an existential threat to President Trump, and it's a real national power struggle that we're looking at here. You have President Trump demanding more Republican seats in Congress at a base level because, one, he doesn't want to get impeached again. He and his team do believe that that's going to happen if Democrats take the gavels in the U.S. House. And also, for the last 2 years of his presidency, after the next midterm, those folks in his administration are concerned that they're going to be under constant investigation by the U.S. House of Representatives when the Democrats run the committees there, if that's what happens after the 2026 elections. And this is maybe just the start of what may happen around the entire country. Back in 2003, something that was not the case, that wasn't the case then, that is the case now, is you have Democratic states like California looking at trying to cancel out whatever happens here. So you have the governor in California, you have Gavin Newsom saying, yeah, if Texas redistricts, we'll just do the same thing in California and send more Democrats to Washington.
So then what leverage other than walkout do Democrats have, if any?
They don't have much. In a special session, you have a narrowed agenda compared to the regular session, and you don't have as much on the table. So there isn't as much leverage for the minority party other than just leaving, if that's what they choose to do. If they were to leave and have a sustained effort, that would take the next 3 months or so, because of course the governor could call more special sessions if the redistricting doesn't happen over the next 29, 28 days, whatever it is now at this point. But if you look at the way this has played out in the past, Democrats eventually would relent and the Republicans would get what they want. They would need something like $4.5 to $5 million from national Democratic donors to support an effort over the next 3 months to stay out of the state to prevent this redistricting.
Can Republicans get 5 more seats from a new map? Is that possible? Is it risky?
It's very risky. I don't think they can get 5. I think the president starts with a negotiating position of 5. I think that it's more realistic to say that Republicans could maybe draw 1 or 2 new Republican seats, maybe 1 in the Valley, maybe 1 in the Houston area. But once they start to move more lines than that, especially in those big urban areas like Houston and Dallas-Fort Worth, I'm told by solid Republican sources that they're concerned that as many as 9 incumbent Republicans in Congress from Texas could see their seats endangered, and they'd have to spend a lot of money in that next election to defend those seats.
And Scott, this kind of extreme gerrymandering got so bad in North Carolina that experts declared the state, quote, no longer a functioning democracy. How do you think this plays out here in Texas?
I think the Republicans here are going to be perhaps a little more measured because legislative leaders and the governor understand that the way populations are distributed throughout the state, it's just not possible to draw that many more Republican seats. You saw in the last regular redistricting in 2021 that they didn't really try to expand the number of Republicans who they're sending to the halls of power in Austin and Washington. Instead, they drew a map that essentially kept things the same, that they shored up their Republican support and they shored up their Republican power, such as it is, and overreaching is exactly what they were trying to not do. And so this time around, even though President Trump's demanding it, I would expect that they might take a little bit more measured approach, and if they do that, it might prevent those Democrats from walking out.
Well, this will be something we will be following this special session. Scott Braddock, editor at the Quorum Report, thank you so much for being back with us to share your insight.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe and leave us a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this video. And don't forget, you can watch full episodes of Austin Insight for free in the PBS app.